It makes me extremely sad to make this video. After playing Skyrim from Bethesda, that was literally my all-time favorite game. No question, no doubt about it. Everything about that game I loved. It was perfect on so many levels, so much nostalgia. So when Starfield finally came around, me personally, I was so excited. And I picked it up. I was like, you know what? I'm going to play this game until the wheels fall off. I'm going to do every single thing I can possibly think of. And I got in, played it for about a month, and then quit. And the sad reality is, it was boring. And this guy made this video, so I wanted to go through this and, yeah, just kind of see if he touches on the points that I basically thought of and get some feedback from you guys. So let's dive into it.
Okay, I'll be honest with you. I've been playing Starfield since release, and I was
He's
actually
got the Mandalorian outfit.
who enjoyed the hell out of it. I
That's
couldn't
raw.
understand why it had so many negative reviews. Personally, I don't really like following the internet's opinions on things, so that could be why. I just
Me
like
neither.
to give my honest views when I play games.
I'm not here to put out hate into the world.
Get here on YouTube. Because I would prefer just to give my honest opinion on things. But with 50 plus
Exactly.
hours playtime and
I've got about 200
reviews and breakdowns of this game, Starfield is a bad game. Here are all the main important issues.
Look, I don't think Starfield is a bad game. I really just think it's boring.
In under 10 minutes. You really don't need to waste your time watching a full 30-minute breakdown. So let's get into this.
No, you don't.
First off, loading screens.
Loading screens. Oh yeah.
I was one of those people who said
that was pretty much everyone's number one complaint.
SSD, and it's not an issue. Yes, this does relieve some of the
I do have an SSD.
suffering, but
It's not enough.
remove the endless loading screens you'll encounter at every moment in this game. Whether you enter your ship, go inside any building in the game, or land on any planet, you will get a loading screen. And it's beyond ridiculous. I saw a video recently which made a really damn good point, and I wish I could remember which video this was from. Essentially, they spoke about Red Dead Redemption 2 and how it felt like you were so engaged in the game. Because
see, I think the problem is that Starfield's been in production for so long in development that they still built it on the old engine. So the loading screens, like the engine couldn't handle like this open world like this, right? And then yeah, I mean the loading screens are just horrible, honestly. It's horrible.
That was it. There was no loading screens.
Like if Rockstar can do it, why can't Bethesda? Bethesda's huge.
And travel around the map without seeing a single loading screen, and it made you feel so much more immersed. With Starfield, it's the complete opposite.
Literally, they have the fast travel system, but if you're running, you have to leave the building, loading screen. You have to go through the gate, loading screen. Ride the tram, loading screen. Get to your ship, loading screen. Get to the cockpit, loading screen. Take off, loading screen. Sit in space, travel somewhere, loading screen. Land at your destination, loading screen. Land on the planet, loading screen. It's like every single step that you take is a loading screen. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. He is not wrong.
Loading screens are an issue, and it's not just something that people are bitching about. It's nothing worse than looking at a damn screen all the time when you just want to play a game. In 2023, this should not be a thing.
Exactly.
Lifeless open world. To be honest,
all right, the open world.
I disagree that the world is completely lifeless, as cities feel somewhat lived in, but the AI.
Look, my thing with so the open worldness of the game, right? You land on a planet, it seems like there's nothing to do. Like in the game, it seems like there's nothing really to do is how I really feel about the game overall. Like I don't care to go land on a planet, 3 procedural generated places spawn and you have to go do a quest there. It's just not fun. And the cities, they actually do feel pretty real in the city itself, but like there's really not a ton of quests inside the city itself.
is seriously god awful, and NPCs appear
Yeah, I mean,
completely brain dead and soulless. And if you want nightmares tonight, look at the state of this thing. Scary as hell. No
yeah.
need for laxatives. Just have a look at this and you'll shit yourself
Dude,
over
looks
and
like he's
over.
Botoxed up.
Where things do become disappointing is the fact we have hundreds of planets which really don't have much on them. They are just
Yeah,
empty
that's literally the
surfaces
whole
for
point.
Bethesda.
Like, they have
Quality
so
over
many
quantity.
planets,
That's all I'm going to
and they're
say.
not even
You'll
worth
be fine if
exploring.
you
Like,
have an
why would
easy
you
run
even
through
land on them?
dense
There's nothing to
planets
do
over
there.
hundreds of lifeless
You're gonna go
ones
kill a little
any day
bandit
of the
village.
week.
Okay,
I would much
boom.
prefer that.
Next
I'm
planet, go
sure I'm
kill a
not the
bandit
only
village.
one.
It's the same stuff over and over. Like, look at this 16x speed, bro. And he's just running. Yeah. Okay, my whole thing with the barriers on the planets, I don't really care about that. Like, nobody's running that far. You land, there's 3 areas, that's it. You choose one, you can go to it. But that's what I'm saying. It's so boring. Like every single planet you land, it's the same things. Like, go explore a little close, check out a bandit camp, kill some raiders, and leave. Like, okay, great.
The story. So it's rather boring, and I found myself doing the side missions instead. And I swear, if I have to do one of these missions again, I'm gonna throw myself off the nearest.
That's another thing. The campaign in this game was so short. Like Skyrim had an incredibly long and well-driven campaign that led you through to the end. Becoming the Dragonborn, learning your stuff, killing the dragons. Right. This game, literally, I felt like 5 quests. Like literally, the storyline is so short, and then you go do the faction quests. Like think about the Mage College back in Skyrim, right? Or you lead the rebellion, right? Or you join the Thieves Guild. Like you got such good rewards from every single faction, and every single faction had such a good storyline and like quest line to go on, and they were all long. This one, like the Neon quest line, took me like 3 hours, and it was so easy. And then I will say the pirate quest line was a good thought out quest line, but it was still so short. Same with the joining the military and fighting off the monsters, right? Like saving the planets and you know taking those creatures out. Like that was a pretty good storyline, but they were so short. So it was like once those are done, like, why do I really want to replay the entire thing just to choose a different ending on it? Like, no.
Bridge. It's ridiculous. I would actually love to know how many of these missions are there in the game. Feels like I've done about 40 of them. So boring. It's just the same thing every single
Yep,
time. Imagine if you weren't interested in doing side missions, you just wanted to do the main story. I think you need a
exactly.
suicide hotline on speed dial, to be quite
Well, the
honest.
thing too
Doing
with
the
the
same
side
mission
quests, they're
that
not
many
really
times should be
rewarding.
a
Like
crime.
all the
I
side, there
always
was so
find
many
the
side
missions are
quests
actually
in
quite good in this
Skyrim that
game, and I
gave
wouldn't
you
want
like
to
a
divert my
one of one
attention from the
unique item.
boring, lackluster story to them instead. So with that being said, don't buy the game for the story alone. As Martin Scorsese would say, this ain't cinema, and he's bloody right. No landing on planets. It didn't really bother me at first, but now thinking about it, this is quite a big problem, and it contributes to the many loading screens we have
Really,
in this game. At least give us the option to
landing on
land on
planets.
planets before giving us one of these bastard loading screens. Christ's sake, it's just everything you do is a loading screen. I just feel sorry for people out there that haven't got a bloody SSD. Please comment below if you have a hard drive and you played this game. I
He's
really
not
need to
wrong,
know.
bro. He's
This
not
game
wrong.
doesn't try to make you
Oh
feel
my
immersed
god.
at all.
I don't really
Yes,
see
they
a problem
load
with
you on
landing on the
planets,
planets. I never
and you
really
don't
saw
get
that
to
as an
land on
issue.
them, you greedy cock. Watch a few hours of loading screens instead. I mean, to be honest, I think I started seeing these loading screens in my sleep after a while. You should have been able to enter a planet's
Oh
atmosphere
boy.
without seeing a loading screen and actually land on it. That would have been amazing. And it has been done in other games, so you can't use that as an excuse either.
Right.
Endless menus. This goes
Yes.
hand in hand with immersion. Here is a great example. Remember in Red Dead Redemption 2,
Yeah, the game
when
was
you would
not very
visit a
immersive.
shop, instead of seeing a menu when buying items, you would actually remain in the game still, and you would open a book to
Yeah.
browse items, whilst the vendor speaks to you.
I'm so excited to try this.
Howdy. Yeah.
Starfield, prepare to be looking at menu screens almost the same amount of time as in gameplay. I would actually love to
Yep.
see how many hours I've spent looking at
I
menus
fixed this
in
right away. I
game. And the
downloaded the
Devs
menu
really did it
mod.
right. It kept you in the game.
I think it's
You
called
never felt like
Atlas
you
or
were leaving
something.
It felt like you were actually there in the game.
Yeah, the
seeing
game
the
wasn't
first
very
voices.
immersive compared to
I'm
like
really
Skyrim.
sorry
It
for
felt
new
like you were
players
really
out
in the
there,
world,
but
even
trust
with
me
the
on
loading
this
screen
game,
Skyrim had.
because it does take quite
Red
a
Dead
long
Redemption
time to
2, I
get
mean, it
used to
feels so
due to
immersive.
how many menus
The
there
only
are.
time I actually felt immersed in Starfield was I was standing on the eye, and if you look out the windows, you can see the ships flying by, and the ambient music kicks in, the ambient sounds. You see the planet rotating slowly, and the ships are flying, and I was like, okay, this is pretty sick. Other than that, I really didn't feel immersed.
This game. I remember playing this for the first time, and I felt pretty headshot to begin with, as I didn't really know where to start. Navigating these screens on your first initial playthrough is
The
literally like
Mandalorian
shitting
outfit's
out a dog.
tough.
It's not too bad now that you've got used to it, but for new players, I mean, you're going to find this a bloody ball ache. Bethesda. This is the most important point of the lot. Remember how Cyberpunk came out, a disappointing mess, and CD Projekt Red actually cared for the players and begun trying to fix their game. Bethesda is doing the opposite. We're wrong, they're right. The responses they made to reasonable reviews of the game,
I haven't seen any of their
countless hours
responses.
played, is horrific.
I haven't kept up with the news,
Unprofessionalism,
honestly.
and essentially not addressing any issues the game
I don't have
had.
time for that.
In their eyes, it's bloody perfect.
Oh, let's see it. Some of Starfield's planets are meant to be empty by design, but that's not boring. When the astronauts went to the moon, there was nothing there. They certainly weren't bored. The intention of Starfield's exploration is to evoke a feeling of smallness in players and make you feel overwhelmed. You can continue to explore and find worlds that have the resources you need for the hidden outpost to look through. Huh. That was their response? Right.
At least CD Projekt Red.
Look, they have a point. When they went to the moon, they weren't bored. But that's because they were scared for their life. Right? And this, there's nothing on the planet to do. You land. There should be activities.
Have tried to rectify their mistakes, although it's taken a long time. With Starfield, it's not going to happen from the looks of it. It looks like they have no intentions to fix or address issues, which really is the nail in the coffin. However, this could change due to the backlash from fans, as it's really not going down well. So with all that being said, Starfield is bad. There is fun to be had here, but it really...
I feel like the only thing that could really save this game are the modders. And even I heard something that even the modders are not very enthused to work on this game because it's so boring.
Does fall from the mark in many aspects, and I will admit I was completely wrong about this game thinking about it now. I definitely had fun playing it at points, but with this many hours played now, the issues are just clear as day, and it made me realise just how bad the game really is. And to be honest, I just don't like following everyone else's opinions on things, so that might be why I never thought this was a bad game. I carried on playing it like it wasn't one. But when you begin listing all the issues in this game and things...
I think I was in denial, honestly. I mean, I did have some fun moments with it. I played it for a while. I finished the campaign. I played every faction quest. And, I mean, I did some of the side quests and beat the storyline twice, got to the Starborn, got some of the powers. But, like, that's it. I mean, once you're there, it's done. Skyrim, I mean, Skyrim is so good that like I could hop on Skyrim right now and play through and feel like I've never played that playthrough before. Starfield, it feels like the same thing. I don't know if it's partly because of the guns, like maybe because you can build stealth or you can build, you know, like shotguns or whatever, but I think it's like fantasy, but it's also realistic. And I feel like with Skyrim, when you can choose to have like a certain class and, whether it's a sword and shield, whether it's a mace and shield, whether it's a two-handed weapon, whether it's a double sword, whether it's daggers, whether it's, using healing and a sword. Like there's so many different combinations, and when you can play through with that and experience different quests and you actually enjoy the side quests, there's so many unique items that you can get, right? And like when it's at that level of immersion, that's when it's like fun, I think. I don't know if anyone would agree that the whole gun system just was kind of boring, but that's kind of how I felt.
You would like to change, it becomes apparent then, as the bloody list becomes longer than the donkey's cock. So do you agree with these comments? I would love to know in the comment section below. Am I being way too hard on it, or am I not being hard enough? Let me know in the comment section, and if you would like to find out whether the GT...
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I mean, when it comes down to it, like, are we being too hard on it, or are we not being hard enough? I mean, that's a great question because honestly, I had such high hopes for the game, and I know the developers there put so many hours into it. Maybe they're in denial, who knows? But I feel like it was just a big letdown. Like, I played Skyrim for years. I literally downloaded it a couple months ago, so many years later. I mean, I've went through and played it with different mods, and this game I played through it once, and it was just done at that point. It felt boring. It felt like there was nothing new to explore, even though there's so many planets, there's so many quests and side quests and everything. It just felt lifeless and boring. So that's my opinion on it. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below. Is there anybody that does still enjoy the game? I'm not here to hate on it, but there are some flaws, and my honest opinion is it is just pretty boring. So that's why I haven't made any other videos on it past like my shipbuilding guide. Um, and yeah, so catch you guys in the next video. Appreciate it.
Definitive Edition...